Hey, what's up? It's Dominic D'Angelo of adfreeshows.com, scoops.com, and Brass Ring Media. Don't worry, Robert is here. He will be here in just a second, but wanted to kick off the show on time because it wasn't on time yesterday. If you tuned in yesterday, you sat maybe for 30 minutes and then saw me later on for 30 minutes. I did not hit live, and I did a whole show by myself. But I'm doing a show by myself right now, but not soon because Robert will be here. But let's say hi to some folks in the chat. Meantime, we got Triple E in the house. Robert is here today. And yes, Triple E, there will be a daily episode hotline. Kimmy Star says, hey, the live button got pressed today. It sure did. And Dre Owen says, Dom is on time today. Cody versus Orton. And all for Saturday. Yes, excited for that. And excited for Robert. Hold on. There he is. He's back. Welcome back. Woo!
I am back and better than ever. We're live, pal. Happy to be here, broadcasting to you live from Riyadh. It's a beautiful day out here today. It's super safe. I feel honored, blessed, and privileged to be joining you, Mr. D'Angelo. It is long overdue. I am back from my sojourn to Iowa.
Seth Rollins country.
Dude, it is Seth Rollins country out there. Just people walking around making that whoa noise. It's crazy. They don't allow music there, so it's a strange place to be.
Wait, what do you mean they don't allow music?
It's Iowa. They barely allow polite nods to one another. It's beautiful out there.
I believe it. Yeah.
Look, my recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
If you are in Des Moines, Iowa, if you have done something wrong in your life and wound up there, there's a place called Zombie Burger.
Oh,
let me tell you, damn.
Wow. All right, Zombie Burger, mark it down if you're ever in Des Moines, everybody.
Absolutely delicious, and made some friends with some wrestling folks while out there because. Of course I did. No matter where you are, you're always going to find wrestling people. But the most important wrestling people, those of you joining us here live around the world on Rumor and Innuendo, plethora of platforms. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. Oh, wait, no, shoot. We haven't even done the show yet. I'm out of practice, man. I thought we just talked. I leave. World goes totally like cuckoo, banana pants, bonkers in wrestling. Love it.
And in the world.
Well, that's kayfabe. That's why I was unavailable. I was trying to broker peace between Israel and Iran.
Man.
And if you thought the cutters on Raw last night were crazy.
Oh my God. Oh jeez. Holy smokes.
It's been a while. I will say this because a lot of people were mad. Scott and I didn't get a chance to do a working stiff this past week. Dom did not drop the ball on that.
No, not on that.
Heard you drop the ball yesterday, dude.
Big time.
Ron Ward says it's 110 degrees outside in Boston. Robert, take your damn weather back with you.
It is hot. It's hot in Pittsburgh here too. It's like 97 or something.
It is. It's actually supposed to rain here in about an hour and a half. It is currently. It's a chilly 91 here in Boca Raton.
Yeah. You need some sort of jacket going on there, Robert.
I might need a jacket to coat, something like that. But Dom, there's a doings going on internationally, and it's going to be this Saturday, hopefully, maybe, possibly.
Night of Champion is scheduled for Saturday, and according to Fightful Select, it is still going to happen, despite all the controversy going on between Iran and Israel. WWE's major event in Saudi Arabia will still go ahead, although Fightful Select has reported how the organization is monitoring the situation. The report goes on to claim that out in Saudi Arabia, preparations are still to be full steam ahead, and workers are in full build mode at the site. It is also reportedly unlikely the event will be postponed or canceled, given the plans to host the 2026 Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia and how much money is at stake. Meanwhile, another source is said to have added the view that Saudi is one of the safest places in the world, reducing concerns over the event taking place.
And who was that source? We don't know.
Who was that source?
I mean, that is the kind of just like, well, if I say it, it's going to be true. Not that that's indicative of anybody else in politics, but look, I do feel slightly better that there is this shaky peace that was signed between Israel and Iran. Whether it holds, it as of now, it's like, we'll see. It's like a wrestling union. It sounds like it's going to work, and then it just totally falls apart. But if that wasn't in place, I would have been more concerned, because there was talk of Iran supposedly targeting U.S. interests. That's why they fired missiles at the U.S. military base in Qatar. There was talks on some of the news channels about like sleeper cells that are waiting in case Sergeant Slaughter suddenly decides that he's going to change his allegiances and become an Iranian sympathizer this go round. But this is a very prominent U.S. based global event occurring in a region that is volatile. I'm sure there's over the top security for it there. Riyadh and Saudi Arabia in general has invested a tremendous amount of money into these sorts of events in order to show the rest of the world we're a place you should go visit, we're a place you should go spend your money, you should transact with for global business purposes. And it's a safe, wonderful, beautiful place that has a Tim Hortons.
Ooh, a Tim Hortons.
Does have a Tim Hortons there. I don't have Tim Hortons. Like, on the one hand, I don't want to, die in a hailfire of missile shrapnel. On the other hand, Timbits are delicious.
They are pretty good.
They're almost worth it. But WWE and boxing are sort of two of the big flag waving events, and I think there's tennis and golf events that are there as well, that they try to use to say, hey, we're come on in, we're a safe, happy, wonderful place, you all can enjoy it. But like when Hitler hosted the Olympics.
Oh, of course. Robert, when I was doing the show by myself yesterday, I was thinking, man, I wish I had Robert here, because I'd want to see
you and most of the audience. I'm kidding. I'm sure you knocked it out of the park, dude.
Thanks.
By the way, thank you to the guest hosts that filled in as well.
Yes. Bubba Brewer and my degenerate brother Marcus, who didn't swear. So,
dang.
Good job on his part. Hey, but I did want to ask, from a legal perspective, say hypothetically, if WWE could get out of this show, what would be some certain legal ramifications, if any, considering the global impact of what's going on between Israel and Iran?
So most of these contracts have a force majeure clause, which is an act of God clause, which would include things related to war, strife, safety, things of that nature. They most likely would have to give back money, which is where, Nick Khan, we care about our people, so we have to give back the money. We don't care about our people's safety. They'll be fine. They got muscles. They'll be good.
Yeah.
If not, we got the Wyatt Six. They're spooky. They'll do some woo-woo nonsense.
Yeah, that'll all pan out.
But there was some woo-woo nonsense that occurred in Grand Rapids, Michigan on Friday, Dom.
Robert, there sure was. One of the headline matches was John Cena versus CM Punk. And John Cena took on R-Truth, Ron Killings, on the main event of SmackDown, and got a disqualification happening. And it ended up turning into a CM Punk segment, where CM Punk is put through a table by Cena, and Cena drops his own pipe bomb.
What did you think of that, Dom?
I loved it. I loved the promo. I loved the certain layers to it. I think it really spoke to how smart Cena is as a wrestler on the microphone. And I think if, how his heel turn has been so far has been a little underwhelming, but this really, really got hammered home the point that he's a great heel, So, but what did you think, Robert?
It was a little cutesy
for
me, just because there was, and this is going to sound stupid, and I'm admitting this, it felt so rehearsed, given the impromptu nature of, he would have had to have known that he was going to get the disqualification on Ron Killings.
Yep.
And then he would have had to have known that Punk was going to come out. And then he would have put him through the table and positioned himself to have this Weird Al parody version of the pipe bomb ready to go off the top of his head. If it was something he had just calculated, where you didn't have to set up the Punk was laid out kind of thing, or you knew they announced Punk was going to be coming out to cut a promo, and John attacked him with the plan of, I'm going to attack you and I'm going to deliver this pipe bomb. That would have been a little bit better than the steps that got it to CM Punk's laying there in the ring prone. We're getting those eerie reminders of what it was before. And then John does like a note perfect beat for beat retelling of the pipe bomb. It's not like he was going to come up with that off the top of his head. Even the character, John Cena, is not that good. I liked the shout out to, obviously, to Claudio and Nick and Cardona. I'm sure that I didn't even ask Nick, but I'm sure that popped them. It was fine. It didn't go edgy enough. I would have, actually, I'm like a hypocrite because I usually say I don't like it. I would have liked one AEW shot.
What would you have done AEW wise?
Maybe when he started talking about like you're the most TKO guy that there is. At least the billionaire I was loyal to me.
Okay.
Something like that. Mm-hmm. Just, there's ways that you could have taken the jab that Punk is the anti-establishment guy that runs after the money.
Right. So I liked it from the aspect too, because it was a little over the top and did feel a little rehearsed. It almost felt very Batman supervillainy, where it was just.
By the way, that's been all of John Cena's heel run.
Sure, but I think
he's gone over the top cartoony. He gets that heat miser face, and he gets like mustache twirly. And I don't know, but I do like that this is the first time he was at least acknowledging the crowd is turning. And they're siding with me.
Right. But I also think that speaks to the point of what he said earlier about the fans, of how, they'll just cheer him still. They'll still do this stuff. And they're still, and kind of what we'll talk about here in a little bit with what Seth Rollins said on Raw as well. So
you implying that they're fickle?
A little bit fickle.
It's almost like that remember that Daniel Bryan guy who was floating around a while ago? Little guy, had a beard. Nice dude. I don't know whatever happened to him.
Interesting. I think he showed up on Grand Slam Mexico, but it wasn't televised.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
So I didn't know that. That's wild. I did watch Grand Slam Mexico.
Okay.
Or Grand Slam. I watched the Dynamite Mexico. I don't know if they taped a collision there as well.
Hold on, I have to do this real quick. You missed it because yes. Look at this. Look at what I did. That was just for last week.
I hate that I didn't know that was a song, and as soon as you said, you know what I did, I'm like, did you find the Spanish version of I'm so excited?
I did. Just for one time, that was it. Well,
dude, best producer in the business.
What you think of Grand Slam Mexico?
MJF had a hell of a lot of fun.
He sure did.
I had a lot of fun watching MJF. The rest of it was that Hangman Adam Page promo in Spanish.
Whew. You didn't like it?
Lo siento, pero no me gusta.
I liked it, Robert, for the simple reason that it kind of made him more of an ambassador of AEW and made him feel all-encompassing a little bit.
Dude, it felt like the end of Rocky IV. If I could change, you could change.
We all could change.
Yeah. One of my all-time favorite jokes is it's not even really much. It's a Larry David bit. Now he did it in the Curb Your Enthusiasm special before it became a show, but where he gets up in front of the audience and he goes, "I like you guys. I'm not going to use the usted version. I'm gonna go with two. We're gonna be familiar with each other."
It's pretty funny.
Love that. Anyway, Raw was last night.
Yes,
and we've now finished the King and Queen of the Ring tournament.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the finals are set. It's going to be Cody Rhodes taking on Randy Orton and Jade Cargill taking on a returning Asuka. You like these finals, Robert?
So Willie Thornbrew has a great comment here. He said, "Was that Jay's best singles match last night?" It was pretty damn close. That was that guy showing that he's able to work at a very high level. I think part of the issue with Jey Uso is he can rise up to meet great talent. He can't necessarily pull other talent up to his level, which is something you do need to do if you are going to be a champion. It is something that Seth Rollins is very successful at doing. I was surprised that they went with Sami Zayn losing to Randy Orton.
Oh,
On
really?
SmackDown, I thought for sure we were going to get Sammy versus Cody, but I think part of what they were concerned about is the crowd in Saudi Arabia being super into Sami Zayn and running the risk of turning Cody heel.
Interesting.
That's my guess. Also, probably in WWE world, they felt giving the Saudi audience Randy Orton is a bigger deal when you're trying to sell how important these shows are for how expensive they are.
Wouldn't you be more concerned with Randy Orton getting more of a reaction than Sami Zayn though against Cody?
So he'll get a reaction because it's Randy Orton. He's a legend. Sammy, given his ties to the region, that he wasn't allowed to perform there at a certain point in time, and then made the trip over to Saudi Arabia, had the very emotional Hajj that he participated in, and was greeted almost like a homecoming from that crowd. So putting the guy who, not to say he's the hometown hero, but sort of the regional beloved figure against the guy coming out in an American flag shirt, calling himself the American Nightmare, given everything that's happened in the last week, there's optics.
Might be a little optics there, yeah.
But they set up, this Sami Zayn carrying cross thing, which was fun. I feel like the inevitability of wanting to turn Sammy heel, given that they're making him sort of you can make him the bitter, angry, jaded guy. And they did kind of tee it up with that promo on SmackDown when it was him and Orton and Uso and Cody. Hey, you guys all finished your story. I haven't. I want to be world champion. And you got Karrion Kross in his ear saying, like, I know how to make you world champion. And Sam is like, all you know how to do is sell T-shirts. You're a young buck. I'm kidding. The Bucks can't sell shirts anymore.
Oh, wow.
Yes, but and Cody and Randy is a fun match, and there's no way it's not Cody.
Yeah, how couldn't it be? You'd think SummerSlam he'd have to be in the world title picture,
Especially since we already got the Orton John Cena match, and as much as I love John Cena and Randy Orton together, we're good.
Yeah, we got our fill for that. You could maybe run it back one more time if you really, really want to do, but on one of your major pay-per-views, I don't know if that would be the best of moves right there.
And then Asuka and Jade.
Yes.
Good luck, Asuka.
I think from at least at the very surface of it all, like both these women in this finals makes a lot of sense, and you could see either one of them winning this.
It does, but I think you need a lot of things to happen in order for Jade winning to make sense. Because Jade Tiffany at SummerSlam doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get to Jade Naomi,
right?
But then it's like, well, why would Naomi cash in, knowing she's going to have to face Jade? I don't know. But then, are you really going to beat Jade and not have her win Queen of the Ring? But at the same time, the best move she did against Roxanne Perez was a push-up.
Yeah, that was an interesting match. Was the opening segment interesting? We had Seth Rollins come out.
Oh, sorry, I'm supposed to pretend. Sorry, Dom. Ask the question, and then let me pretend like I'm giving it real thought.
Was the opening segment interesting? We had Seth Rollins come out with Bronson Reed, come out with Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman, and it was Seth Rollins doing all the talking. Yeah, Robert, what did you think of this one?
No. Seth Rollins missed his career as a politician because it takes a lot of skill to say that much without saying anything. He rehashed his accomplishments over the last few years, which really have just been he's Zelig. You know who Zelig is?
Sounds familiar, but
Woody Allen movie.
Okay, no.
Zelig was just a guy who was just sort of in the background of important historical moments. I think Forrest Gump.
Oh, okay.
But like Seth was the first NXT champion back when that really wasn't that much of a distinction. He was the first world heavyweight champion because everybody that was important and famous was busy worried about the undisputed title. He was the one who got Cody Rhodes over because they needed somebody for Cody Rhodes to beat. He's the reason that Roman is what he is because he turned on Roman, and then it propelled Roman, not Seth. Like it's a post hoc ergo proctor hoc argument where afterwards, therefore, because that we're making it seem as though these were all monumental things that Seth Rollins did, when really it was we're just trying to appease Seth to make it feel like he's been involved when he really hasn't been the guy or anywhere close to being the guy. He's engaging when he talks to some degree, but there was no message coming out of that story. It was to set up the fact that LA Knight got taken out with a number of tsunamis, which, hey, look, if I would have done work and stuff last week, that would have been the high spot.
That would have been your high spot?
That would have been the high spot. I know they're trying with LA Knight. I get it. I mean, to some degree, not really full-throated. They don't like LA Knight, but they're like fake trying. Do you have any idea how hard you have to work to make a Paul Heyman promo not interesting?
So I had a different look on that one. I thought LA Knight did change up his promo style a little bit on SmackDown.
Tried.
I thought him getting mixed up with Heyman did make him feel like a bigger deal. And overall, you know, him getting taken out by Bronson Reed kind of tables it for a little bit, but I don't know. It's like, if they're going to take a shot at it, this is the way to do it, I guess, you know, for LA Knight.
It is the way to do it. Yes, you try to position these guys and rub them up against more important people, but I didn't think he held his own with Paul. I feel like Paul was trying. It felt like Paul was saying, like, I give him to me. I'll see if I can make this work. And if he wanted to, he could have eaten LA Knight's lunch.
Sure.
He showed some restraint. And that's kind of the nicest thing you can say about that segment. On Raw, this was to set up, you know, Seth pointing out that this audience has no idea what it wants. And I think that that's sort of a testament to they got a lot of guys over.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point too. Do you think did you have a little bit more confidence pairing Heyman up with Seth initially than what the state of it is currently right now? Like, does it feel like, okay, maybe I had some expectations, but it's not living up to those expectations?
I think you needed Paul in order to signal to the audience, this is a full-throated push of Seth Rollins. This isn't one of the 30 haphazard start and stop Seth Rollins pushes that we've gotten over the years. Paul Heyman is not a guy who's generally associated with mid-carders, all due respect to the Claudio Castagnoli pairing or the Michael McGillicuddy, Curtis Axel. Curtis Axel. Thank you. My goodness. I was going to call him Joe Heddick, and I was like, nah, that's way too real. But the point was here, it's like, no, we're really going with this. Have faith in this group. Have faith in this dangerous alliance that we've created. Bronson Reed seems like a threat. Braun Breaker looked great in there with Penta.
Yeah.
The problem is Seth doesn't necessarily need a mouthpiece. I think that's kind of the thing. Yeah.
He almost feels too like a conduit for like a Bronson Reed and a Braun Breaker. It doesn't feel like Seth's an image right now, the guy, but it's just like, it seems like these other two are the most important aspects.
But that's always the Seth Rollins thing. Whenever they try to push Seth Rollins, someone else winds up generally eclipsing him.
Yeah.
And that's just the nature of who he is. He's not the guy. I think that's probably why Hunter likes him. There's that parallel of like, as hard as you try, you're just not the 1A. And Hunter, in reality, was never truly the 1A.
Well, is Gunther and Goldberg the 1A and 1B? Because we had a little follow-up from last week. Goldberg did a sit-down interview with Michael Cole before Gunther went out to the crowd and had a very compelling promo as well. What did you think of both these? And does it kind of get you more engaged for Goldberg versus Gunther at Saturday night's main event?
No.
Really?
this whole thing is so deflated and bizarre because it's coming from something that happened like a year ago that the audience didn't. This is like AEW territory.
Mm.
You're talking about something that happened a year ago that the audience doesn't necessarily remember. It's involving a guy who's not a full-time member of your roster, and then you've slapped on this Goldberg retirement, and then when they were like, "Hey, what are you going to do if you win the title?" Oh, that's a good point. Like, what?
So is my rose-colored glasses being a mark for Goldberg? Is that getting in my way then?
Oh,
Because I'm
if you're a
excited.
Goldberg, yeah. If you are for some weird, bizarre reason in life a Goldberg mark,
Yeah.
like if you think the Michael Bay Transformers movies are better than The Godfather, then you're loving this right now. Then you are eating well. Otherwise, this doesn't make a lot of sense. Goldberg is not an overly revered guy. I think there are sects of people who do like him, which
Mhm.
is fine. I wasn't a Goldberg fan on his rise. I definitely never liked his WWE run, and all of his return appearances always felt like annoying diminished returns. Like your uncle's coming to town, we have to pretend that we care about him. He's going to be, staying in your room. You have to sleep on the couch. That's the vibe that you always get when Goldberg is there. And Gunther's promo was so paint by numbers, like it was like Mad Libs.
Well, yeah, I think that's expected of what he's supposed to say in a situation like this. And I don't know though. It's like seeing some feedback when I've done some clips online for talking about Goldberg and stuff like that, and seeing comments and stuff like that. There is a contingency that is like, yeah, I'm ready for Goldberg, and you hear that crowd reaction when he did show up last week and how excited they were for him. So I do think there is like
Crowd this week turned on him pretty quickly. They
little
booed.
bit it did with Gunther, yeah. But and it made me think though. But then I was like, well, they're going to be in Atlanta for Saturday night's main event. I think the crowd will be on Goldberg's side for that. But who knows?
I think they will. I think the challenge is you're trying to do too much in one match. If the idea was we're paying off the revenge angle, fine. If we're giving Gunther a challenge, fine. If it's Goldberg's last match, fine. It can't be all three. It's a stupid Goldberg garage hat on a Goldberg garage hat on a Goldberg garage hat. It's totally unnecessary. It's superfluous. It's dumb. It's not superfluous, unnecessary, and dumb. It's rumor and innuendo. And
Yes,
couldn't be happier that I'm back in the chair, back with the greatest producer in all of pro wrestling podcasting when he remembers to push record.
that's it.
And that's Mr. Dominic D'Angelo. And we will be here every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern on, dare I say, Dom, a plethora platforms, including the WWE Creative_ISH X account, the at SE Scoops X account, the at Dominic D'Angelo X account, and on YouTube on Rumor and Innuendo and ad-free shows. So on behalf of the man who was keeping it down while I was in not the show me state, I don't even know what Iowa's slogan is. I was in the Iowan state.
Ah,
Mr. Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpolis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
go Hawkeyes, George Kittle.